we're partnering with Utrecht University in the Netherlands that is sending master students. They do some follow-up work on the impact of the program. And it's nice to have those kind of partnerships because you also share the impact to the community. You know, but the problem in the media is the massive amount of negative messages around men and boys. And people start believing it in communities. You get situations where people in communities really feel hopeless because you see those messages. So what we do, linking to the groups and all the other sessions that we have, we create and we use our research that we do to create positive message that people start believing that there is hope, that men can change, boys can play an active role in achieving gender equality.
Thanks. Yeah, please, Marco.
First to the question from Chris, related to different young men. So what we saw, I mean, what is very similar among young men is that they all feel pressure related to masculinity. So this is something that they can relate to. I'll give an example and try to be kind of short and practical. When we had camps for young men from Croatia, Serbia, and this was the first time that these young men saw somebody from Croatia or somebody from Serbia, and then the first activity, they were on this like a grass plain, and of course guys from Serbia were on one side and guys from Croatia were on the other, and they started like playing these songs on the mobile phones, kind of provoking each other, you know, like nationalistic songs. And after two energizers, like any energizer, you know, these guys were mixed in the groups based on what music they listen to, like normal kids, you know, because so there's so much stressed with these myths, with the daily politics, with populism, and this really reflects on them and this goes on their backs. So we need to work with them to be critically analyzing, to understand messages that they receive and to understand what are their thinking and not to be instrumentalized and to really be unique. So the society is in a way trying to make them very stereotyped, very similar to each other, and that's what masculinity is. It's making one kind of a box of all of them, and what we are working on with them is to try to get them to realize that they're worth, that they're unique, that they can be different, and that's perfectly fine, and that's not less masculine, that's just another way how to be kind of a man. And also, I mean, when we were using sport activities for working with young men, very often we would hear, but aren't you kind of strengthening the masculinity because it's a masculine thing, you know, so shouldn't you kind of take them, I don't know, to something which is not so much perceived as masculinity. It's not about nothing wrong with playing football or allowing their space if they feel comfortable, but it's about if somebody doesn't want to play football, how the group reacts to it. And this is where we work on, how to tolerate and to accept that somebody is different and somebody might like football, and if most of the guys want to play football, they'll play football, but afterwards let's do something which also involves people who don't want to play. So it's about accepting differences and understanding the instrument, critically thinking, so creating unique men.
Great. Man?
कैंपेन अभियान में जो है, एक तो ये कि व्यापक स्तर पे पुरुषों को जोड़ने के, प्रभावित करने के लिए, तो स्ट्रेटजी के तौर पे हम लोग हमेशा इस्तेमाल करते रहे कि सचिन तेंदुलकर का एक पोस्टर कि जहाँ वो कहते हैं कि मैं महिलाओं पे होने वाली हिंसा का विरोध करता हूँ। तो ये एक हमारी स्ट्रेटजी रही है कि इस तरह के जो क्रिकेट या दूसरे खेल हैं से जुड़े हुए लोग हैं, जिसको लोग अपना रोल मॉडल के रूप में देखते हैं, आइडियल के रूप में देखते हैं, हम उन मैसेज को लोगों के पास, यूथ के पास लेके जाएं। दूसरा ये है कि कई बार समुदाय के स्तर पे बहुत सारे ऐसे पुरुष जो अपनी हिंसा के मुद्दे पे विरोध कर रहे थे, अपने सकारात्मक मर्दानगी के प्रयोगों को दूसरों के साथ में शेयर कर रहे थे।
Yeah. So, although hockey is a national game of India, people of India by and large are cricket crazy. And there is Sachin Tendulkar, who's seen as one of the ideals. He's a cricketer. So they have made use of him in a poster which says that he is against violence against women. And this has been circulated or used with the youth, because then it sends a positive message that, you have someone who is a great idol, and, he also does not condone violence against women. So that's been one of the strategies that have been used.
दूसरा, समुदाय के स्तर पे भी धीरे धीरे कुछ ऐसे पुरुष निकल के आए. यहाँ पे भी मैं जानता हूँ कि 1-2 पुरुष ऐसे बैठे हैं जो बाकी दूसरे पुरुषों के लिए एक ऊर्जा देने का काम, प्रेरणा देने का काम करते हैं. तो ऐसे पुरुषों को भी विजुअल बनाना, उनको आगे लेके जाना, इस तरह के प्रयास भी लगातार होते रहे हैं, किए गए हैं. दूसरा, समुदाय स्तर पे.
So then there is, besides using Sachin, who is recognized by everyone, they've also made use of men within communities and, men in a particular area who have stood out, who are different, as role models, and they have engaged them in sending out a positive message.
Thanks, Matt. So I'd like to open up the floor to some more questions. There were two over here on this side that had already had their hands raised. You, sir, and then here, and then we'll take a few more after that. In the middle, in the back there, yeah. We'll take about 4 this time.
Hi, thank you. My name's Tom. I live in Swaziland. I run a mentoring project for young boys 15 to 25 years of old. We're fast approaching what practical advice do you have for projects that start obviously quite small, but then, like yours, have upscaled quite quickly and quite dramatically?
Yeah, great question. Thanks. And then we'll go here to the front. This is the next one here? Okay, well.
Yeah,
I'll get to you, sorry.
Hi everyone, I'm from Sri Lanka, from Be the Change campaign. So I want to ask a question. We are doing different programs in the community level and national level. So, but sometimes we are missing the follow-up process. So, if you have any experience about the follow-ups, so can you tell me to get more knowledge about the follow-up process? So, because we can do so many programs into so many levels for the different categories. So, yeah, this is my question.
Could you just tell me a little bit about what you mean exactly by follow-up?
Yeah, for example, if I'm doing a program for some ministry,
Yeah.
People who are working with the ministry level. So, but after that, I'm coming to office and I'm doing another community level project. But during that time, how I allocate our time to follow-ups, so we can make some role model there, or we can make some panel or committee there, like ministry level,
Yeah.
like that. You know.
So like creating some sustainability within the groups
Yeah,
that you work.
sustainability for the project. Yeah,
Yeah, so it's not just a one-off event, but that it becomes something that people
yeah, in
take
community
on.
level or for some.
Okay, great. If we'll hand it over here. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I'm Sabina from Pakistan, and my question is from Andrea. I would like to listen from you, like any challenges you feel while working with young people, like you people are working with, particularly with young boys. Like if we see the researches which show like young boys are more reluctant to change or transform their role. So if you face some challenges in this regard, so you can share with us. Thank you.
Thanks. And then we had some in the back, so if you keep your hands raised.
A rendezvous festival for young students at the India Institute of Technology. We found that large groups of people would only come if one of them decided to join, the group to come and sign up for the pledge, or they would also decide not to come because one person in the crowd also decided not to. So we're just wondering how you overcame that. Thank you.
Great. So we have 4 questions out there. I have 2 more. I want to hold them. You'll be the first 2 on the next round. If we want to hear some more, I don't want to give too many questions for you to all keep in your heads at once.
Okay. As for the advocacy question first, first of all, it was very important to have results, to have some ways of evaluating what you do. So we were, when we had first results and when we have had some written evidence that something was positive about what we were doing. That gave us a lot of possibility to actually try to set up hundreds and hundreds of meetings and really try to be very visible, to really try to present in a positive way. I can remember like hundreds of meetings where I was talking for an hour and people were listening to what we were doing, and that's the only way. It's very hard work, but that's the only way kind of to present yourself as somebody who is in this field and who wants to participate and who wants to cooperate, and also who wants to be kind of a connection between different institutions. Conferences were very helpful, media showings were also very much helpful. As for challenges, I would also connect it to the peer pressure, because actually that was one of the challenges, not only peer pressure from the youth, but also pressure from teachers, pressure from parents. So first of all, as for peer pressure, it was very important for us to give some sort of an alibi to young men. So we would tell them, okay, you're gonna get some pizza or cevapi, which is like a very popular food, and then they would say, okay, I'm not going because of the workshop, I'm going because of cevapi. Then when we had first actions in the school, we tried to bring some famous people there, so we had like famous guy coming and saying who are the guys from BMN club, and suddenly their status in the school raises, and then we had situation them going back to the classes and being teased, for being BMN club member, but then those who were teasing, week after they would apply for the workshop. So it's also a process, and what I have to say that without courage of these young men, it wouldn't go. We could help them, we could give an alibi, give some cool t-shirts, create graffiti, bring famous people, but without their courage, nothing would change. And it's incredibly easy to get young men to be activists if we kind of understand them and talk to them, try to get them in a proper way. We expected a lot of problems from parents, because we expected that fathers will say, oh, why are you teaching my son how to be a man? But actually what was happening that in the meetings with the parents, we had fathers opening up and saying, oh, I wish somebody would talked about that with me when I was a kid. So you could see that they actually needed it themselves, and they saw this as a very, very positive help from them. And also there was a process with the community, with the teachers. We had a lot of resistance from some more traditional teachers who were saying, oh, you're not doing anything important. But after 2-3 years in their school, when they saw changes, then they started to be our allies. Yeah.
Okay, I had a question, I think, around advice. How do we start? How do we strengthen? How do we upscale? And I think the advice that I can give might not be the best advice, but I'm going to try my best, is that I think that everything that grows big starts small. We need to look at, if you plan something, that you do the right preparation. You need to work your ground. You need to make sure that you have the correct information on how do you water, when do you water, how do you plant. And what we do in our programs is we do really good preparation work. We don't just start a program. We focus on what is the needs in the community. You don't go to a program with a program to the community. You might have an idea, but you have to consult and make sure that people understand. And for instance, in some of the villages, that is very traditional, very cultural villages, where there's a lot of negative cultural norms. There might be the chiefs in the village that might be hampering the program. So you have to look at who is your critical stakeholders in the village that you would like to work with, and who can be good advocates for the programs themselves. So start small. What we do is that we look at how do we build ownership in the community, for instance. We don't really take one facilitator from one village or one community to another community. If we know that we really targeting certain communities, and if we start the program, we will recruit people from their own communities, because we're also building role models. We're also building people and capacity facilitating people that understand the issues in their communities, which becomes very important. But we don't just leave people, we also look at, if you build capacity, how do you sustain those capacities? So we look at providing ongoing support like debriefing sessions. A lot of the advocates that we're working with, or facilitators that we work with, are people that are normal people that went through hardships of life. So how do you deal with those things and provide support for them so that they be able to deal with their own issues? So we provide support systems like debriefing sessions so that they will be able to share their experiences. Then we also look at what is this, the skills level, the current skills level, but where is the skills level that we want or you want to be. And then we, on a monthly basis, we will look at upscaling sessions for that matter. The other thing is to create a brand. Because if people don't understand your brand and know what your brand can do for you, then they won't trust it. And create a brand that people like to feel proud of. And I like the creativeness in your program, because you consult people on what is the brand that they would like and how would they like to design the brand. And once people understand the brand, they would like to be part of it. It's cool to wear Songket t-shirt. It's cool to wear, if you want a Songket toothbrush and toothbrush is popular in your community, we will create a Songket toothbrush for you. But that toothbrush comes with responsibility. If you use a Songket toothbrush, you will have to do A, B, and C, and D. So you work for it and you achieve that. So, what we're also doing successful in spending lots of time designing your program, making sure that different people are involved in that. So I think that is important. I don't know if there was any other questions.
Mahendraji, do you want to respond? Then we'll put it out on the floor one more time.
कैंपेन में हम लोग जो है गतिविधियों के जैसे फॉलोअप की बात आई, तो ये ज़रूरी है कि पुरुषों को उनके साथ में लगातार मिलना, उनके साथ में बातचीत करना, उनको सपोर्ट करना। लेकिन प्रोजेक्ट मोड में जैसे प्रोजेक्ट चलते हैं वैसा कभी सोचा नहीं जाता, शायद वैसा पॉसिबल भी नहीं है। लेकिन ये निश्चित तौर पे ज़रूरी है कि पुरुषों के साथ में जो है लगातार उनके साथ जुड़े रहना, क्योंकि जब पुरुष इस बदलाव की प्रक्रिया में काम करते हैं तो बहुत सारी उनके साथ में चुनौतियां आती हैं, और वो चुनौतियां वो उनके अपने ही लोगों से, अपने ही घर से शुरू होती हैं। शायद वो एक पहली स्थिति होती है जहाँ पे पुरुषों को बहुत ही मोरल सपोर्ट की ज़रूरत होती है। तो हम उसको फॉलो अप के रूप में तो नहीं देखते, लेकिन ये है कि उनको एक रेगुलर उनके साथ कांटेक्ट बनाए रखना और उनको एक मदद की प्रक्रिया में शामिल करना।
So what he's saying is probably it would not be possible if it was in a project mode to have continuous follow-up activities, but because MASFA is more like a campaign, they do take the effort to stay in touch with men, also because challenges arise primarily from within their own homes, from within their people. And that is why it is essential to have a kind of support network on which these men can fall back on.
Great, thanks. Okay, so there was two folks, okay, first her, and then we've got two people who've had their hand ups for quite some time, the woman in the scarf and the man in the corner, okay? So we'll take those three, we have 5 minutes, so if we can make the questions fairly short and short answers. Thank you. Please.
Thank you, Andrew. Though the session is about to understanding the knowledge how to use about the gender-based violence to end gender-based violence, my question to all of you that is it any study or a survey was done where where you include the transgenders people as gender equality or in gender mode, gender normative, and what is the how you people think to include this transgenders people, and if yes, if you really want to do that, because I know my friends are from Promondo and the others beside him, they are very eager to do that. How you can include the transgenders people, because we don't have yet any study and all, a clear platform for the transgenders as a gender justice and gender equality. Thank you.
Great, thank you. If we can go here to the woman in the scarf and black sweater, and then to the gentleman in the back corner after her.
Thank you. It's Bethlehem from Ethiopia in FPA office. I'm a gender program coordinator. And we have been challenged so much by these campaign-related issues. And how far do you think you are effective in securing a sustainable behavioral change, taking into consideration the societal norm, peer pressure, and such things? Because we are working with the young people, and they seem changed for a moment, and after we evaluate like a year, 2 years, they are, back to zero.
Great. So yeah, the sort of longer term sustainable impact of our work once the campaign ends. Thank you. Sir?
Okay. My name is Raj and I'm based in Delhi, and we are also engaged in a campaign among college students on gender justice and gender-side issues. My question is to the last presenter. Especially, I really liked the way you have used a positive messaging in terms of be a man. But I had a question, because we also used a similar kind of a messaging of be a man, respect women, etc. But there is some kind of a negative reactions from feminist groups who see it as a kind of a, like yesterday also we heard in the plenary, see it as a paternalistic or kind of a why the men have to be the protector, that kind of. But if we are working with young people, when we are also giving them the message that as a man you need to stand up when you see something happening to a girl nearby, and then you need to intervene and protect. So I struggle in this kind of reactions from the feminist groups.
Great, all great questions. So any of my colleagues who would like to address any one of those three issues, maybe take one since we are on a little bit of limited time. Not the Manju ji?
पहले सवाल के संदर्भ में जो आपने पूछा था, तो ये है कि हम लोग पुरुषों के साथ काम करते हैं, लेकिन जब जेंडर जस्टिस की बात करते हैं तो निश्चित तौर पे वो कोई भी पहचान रखने वाले व्यक्ति क्यों ना हो, हम उन सभी के मानव अधिकारों की बात करते हैं। हम उनके आंदोलन के या उनके किसी भी स्टेप में उनके साथ में जुड़े रहते हैं, और ये हमारा एक विश्वास भी रहा है, और उनके हर कदम में जुड़ना और उनको अपने साथ जोड़ना ये हमारे मतलब मैस्वा के मूल्यों में रहा है।
So what he's saying is one of the values of MASPA is that irrespective of the sexualities to which the identity that a person aspires to, they believe in inclusiveness, and they have engaged with not just heterosexual people, but people irrespective of whatever sexuality they aspire to.
Yeah. First of all, about sustainability, that's always an issue, and that's why the intervention, I mean, when I hear somebody is doing a campaign concert and then without anything else, I mean, what does that concert mean? What will it change? Okay, you invested a lot of money in that. You could have worked with a small group of young men for 2 years with that money and educate their teachers, parents, and make t-shirts for them also. And maybe it would have some, so it's really hard to make something sustainable, and that's why it was we were very lucky to have support for almost 9 years now, and that ministries from our local countries took over some of the support, so that's really important, and that's very ungrateful when working in NGOs, because we often have to go away from the priorities and the focus. As for the negative reactions, we had our time in proving to feminist organizations in Croatia that it's not just the message, be a man, it's the whole aspect, it's the whole message, it's the whole approach. And now they are very proud of us, and they're always pointing at us as somebody who is actually transforming gender and not exploiting gender transformative role. Because, I mean, on first you may hear that, you may think that be a man is kind of exploitative supporting this kind of aggressive dominance of men. But it's not just be a man, it's the other part of the message is education of teachers, parents, pedagogues on gender transformative programming, and the message goes to a certain target group along with the continuation. So you can't just take out one message, you have to see the whole picture, and then I feel it's really transforming masculinity instead of reaffirming the inequality.
Do you want to say anything? You're good?
Yeah, and maybe just, I mean, to make a reference, we were working in technical schools. It's not related so much, but it's talking about how working with young men, at first part of the what it means to be a man is also not accepting differences and not being tolerant. So when we are talking about changing masculinity, we are also talking about creating people who are more acceptable to people who are different, to understand that every person is different, and to understand that it's about the person and not the sex.
Thank you. Well, look, at this point, I want to thank three remarkable speakers, Mahendraji, Andre, and Natko. Really just wonderful reflections of really important trailblazing work that we've all admired for such a long time. And I want to thank all the participants for the interaction and the great work that you're doing. And hopefully the dialogue will continue the movement. So thank you very much.